Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Isabel Martinez, and I'm here to present to you my new template on Halloween in Google Slides. Excited to share this one with you. It's got a lot of fun graphics, but before we jump into those designs, I do want to share with you a little bit about what to expect in this template. So this is just the starting slide. Slide 2 is going to take you to some brief directions that I've outlined here that you can share with your designers, your students, whoever it is that you're sharing this deck with. Of course, feel free to edit these. You will need to have some skills in order to actually create your content. And that's really what this is all about. This activity is to help your users, your learners, be able to use Google Slides in a more efficient way, especially when it comes to using graphics and images and so forth. So slide 3 is going to have links to all of the different Google Slides skills that you would need to be able to create your own Halloween pumpkin or a Halloween card or whatever it is that you decide to create here. So you can click on any one of these items to be able to go to the Google support pages. As you can see, as I'm just clicking through, you can see the little drop down menu there that takes you to each of those items. So really quick, I'm going to share with you the slides that you have available. I've got basically two different options depending on the users you're working with. If you've got some new users to Google Slides, they're maybe used to using other tools but haven't quite played around too much in Google Slides, then you might want to give them the template that is in slide 5. So this particular slide has fewer items on the screen. For example, the faces are already put together in one as opposed to individual noses and mouths and eyes. And they're also ordered so that if you were to drag the face on top of the pumpkin, it actually sits on top of the pumpkin and not behind it. So I've already put things into order so that the user doesn't have to worry too much about figuring out how to put things in order. Those are some of the skills that you could certainly have them learn, but that's why I made this one a little simpler to not require so much. So the idea is to have them build their pumpkins so that they can eventually get to something like this, slide 6, where they can actually design sort of a scene that has, like in this case, it has two different tiles here. Tile 1 says trick or treat, and then tile 2 is like, oh no, it was a trick. This little spider fell on the pumpkin, and you can see it's the same pumpkin but a different expression. And in order to get your students or your learners to get to design a scene, they need to be able to design their pumpkins a lot faster. Hence why there are less steps and it's easier here to design your pumpkin. So again, this is the basic one. And then the advanced one requires a little bit more. So if you jump over to slide 8, you're going to see that this has the pumpkins separately from the mouths, and then the eyes, which you can also use as noses. So all of these are separate. You have to put them in order so things are stacked on top of each other. And then, of course, you have the same extras that you had before. But the idea here is that, there's more that they're having to build, including things like, you notice that my eyes and my mouth and all of that here are in white. But if you go back to slide 8, I don't have graphics in white. So your students, your designers need to actually learn how to format options by going to the formats and then recoloring that into, in this case, that it's kind of like a grayish white color. And so I'm using sort of the format options and additional things. It's not just a recolor. You can use adjustments, drop shadows, etc. So again, this is really meant for your users that can move quicker through some of these features and be able to build something that's a little more complex than your novice user would create. So that's the gist of what you find in the template. In a follow-up video, I'm going to actually create something and show you all of the features and skills that you would need to learn to be able to, or would need to have, to be able to create these types of scenes that I just shared with you. So I'll do that in a separate video, but now you have this one video to be able to use this template. Happy creating!